Project Phoenix, a fire-damaged RMX 2.0 we are saving from the trash can and giving a second chance at greatness. We're going to start with our Allen. Grab yourself a 2mm and begin removing the upper bridge support. I started from the front, remove both on each side, rotate, remove the others on the front side. Don't mind me here, I'm just realizing that I tried unscrewing the wrong screws. Here we go. If you guys don't have one of these drill drivers, they make especially Disassembly a breeze. I know some are fearful of using them when assembling their vehicle, whether that be for stripping a bolt out or over tightening something. But I can assure you, you can use them competently and save yourself a ton of time. So highly recommend it. I'm using a Black & Decker model here from Lowe's. I believe this was on sale for $29.99, maybe $31.99, somewhere in that neighborhood. Definitely not a bank breaker. Holds charge for weeks at a time when just using it for RC. And it's a handy little screwdriver for around the house. Nothing like letting your tools double up. I then removed the two rear brace supports. I realized that I was stuck with all my wiring here. So out come the cutters. After I fight with it a little more. There we go. Now I'm pretty bummed to lose this gyro specifically. I know some might say, oh, a Onisinki gyro, big deal. But this was the limited edition gold. They don't make them anymore. So that's a sad part to lose. But on a positive note, I do save all of my burned up electronics for a future project. I'm looking to maybe make a trophy or something cool with all the burned out parts that I've collected over the years. Trust me, there's a few. Now, upon inspection of this transmission, now that I have more of the stuff out of the way, it looks completely untouched and intact. So I'm not even going to mess with it, open it up, anything. We're just going to leave it as is and kind of hope we land where we need to. Now, I almost got shocked by the battery. It still had some remaining charge in it, so be very careful if you're dealing with batteries that have self-destructed. I tapped mine off into a bucket of salt water to let it finish discharging before I throw it in the trash. Now I'm just removing the last hardware to get our rear T-plate brace off of our upper chassis rails. This suffered the worst damage and is basically melted and fused to this side of the carbon. It does not want to come off, and I'll try to put it in here, but basically you could hear a little cracking and you see it delaminating between layers here. So initially I'm thinking, oh darn it, this is a write-off. Luckily it was only the top piece. However, upon inspecting it further, I believe that by tightening the hardware within the threaded zert that is inside of my upper brace, it should sandwich those plates back together and make the joint strong and whole again. I won't know until I test it, but I believe this should work in theory. Wish me luck. Here I'm using a hobby grade wood chisel. I'm cleaning off the remaining plastic debris that is stuck to my carbon upper plates. Be careful doing that, especially if your chisels are very sharp. It can and will dig into your carbon. I almost learned it the hard way right here. but I was able to clean it off real fast and adjust the way that I was holding the chisel as well as the pressure I was applying. Not going to suggest taking a chisel to your carbon chassis, but again, remember this has been through a fire, so I am less worried about causing or creating damage. I don't want to make more damage than there is, but this seemed to be the fastest and most logical way to remove the big set-on debris without having to sacrifice too much damage or further damage. Hey, when it works, it works. Now, let's start putting it back together. The fit and finish on these slide tie parts was incredible. It was like they were designed from the factory. They fit right on to where they were supposed to go. They even lined right up with an aftermarket secondary piece, which was my upper deck from reve-d. Don't forget our new fire-tested ESC plate. Baby, baby. The process for reassembly was very simple, reusing the hardware that came out. Look at that discoloration on that upper bolt. Now, we begin installing the battery tray. Slide tie includes all necessary hardware to install this tray. I began by placing the lower bolts through the deck. I then realized that the O-rings that hold the plate on were a pretty tight fit and they kept popping through with the threads, so I opted to grab some slide tie O-ring grease and lubed up the threads, and my O-rings slid right on. If you guys are going to order some stuff from Slide Tie, definitely throw a little jar of this in with your order. So handy to have in your pit bag. I know this stuff is going to come in handy for more than just springs. Point proven. I've had it for all of 48 hours and I'm already using it on a project. So definitely scoop some up. That's a great little extra add-on that Slide Tie carries.
Let's find out. Ready, set, go.
Now, before we continue with our battery tray installation, it was time to address all the sticky, corrosive buildup from the battery fire. It was literally caked all over the bottom deck. Here, I opted for some elbow grease instead of using hard hand tools to remove it all. It did take quite some time. I think I sped up about 20 minutes or so of scrubbing here. Now, Simple Green, I've used on lots of RC chassis. It's never been harmful, even on my carbon stuff, so I felt safe using it. This is also a biodegradable version that's even more gentle on skin and other parts and components. And it took the grime and crap right off of my chassis. I was really happy with that. It cleaned up to where there's one little spot that kind of looks a little off. It's not discolored or anything. It just looks, I wasn't able to clean it up just right yet, but I think a little more time and scrubbing and I will have it back to new. So we're just going to kind of hang out here while I finish installing these on video. This was a breeze to put together. All the parts fit together very nicely. Everything was threaded nicely. The hardware all was spot on. Excellent execution on an excellent product. If you guys are in the market for some new parts for your cars, Yokomo's MSTs, hopefully soon, maybe a different offering chassis Not going to say any more than that. Definitely look up Slide Tie. I will be back, and I will be doing a car with more of their components on it. I was very, very impressed for my first time around, both in packaging, website, ease of use, the final product that I got and received, and as you see, put on my car flawlessly. It went together very, very smooth, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. So consider them checked to the quality parts section. Do we have that? And lastly, just sitting here putting this together, I was getting more and more excited as the seconds rolled by, seeing this chassis come back to life. Whole new hope. Like I mentioned in the first video, I spent about 8 months getting this car fully assembled and then had loyal service from it for over 2.5 years before I got a different chassis. I just could not ever think about selling it or giving it up, and I'm glad I don't have to. I don't know if I can explain just how excited I am about the battery tray specifically. I've never had a functioning battery tray on this car. The MST fit so snug it would peel the stickers off the sides of my batteries. Ended up working out. That's how I knew which ones were mine. And then the Yokomos never could fit the joints. Like I tried, I believe, for the E and for the S, and neither of them seemed to work. I didn't know what I was doing wrong or whatever, but reve-d told me that this chassis was drilled for a YD2 battery tray, and I just happened to try the RMX because I ordered YD2 and didn't fit. Tried the RMX, it fit a little closer but still didn't fit. These fit like a glove, so whatever I ordered, thank goodness it works perfectly. Thank you guys. And that T-brace delete fit just like it should and eliminated all the damaged parts on the chassis, so bring on the electronics, we're good to go. Next week on the BAWLS Build vlog, we head to the So Cooler garage to do some woodworking and install. It's an episode you won't want to miss. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification.
Any machine could rebel. It is crucial to learn the common strengths and weaknesses of every robot.